Video games are really hard to make, and sometimes getting to the finish line can seem like a miracle, even in the best of times. So what happens when a trilogy loses its publisher, moves from episodic to full releases, combines several titles into one package while having to deal with cross-platform progression across generations, and retools all three games into a roguelite mode? Obviously, a critically acclaimed return to form for a legendary series that catapults a developer into making the next 007 game. Here's everything that's been added to the Hitman trilogy since launch. Just as a heads up, we're going to be skipping time-gated content like elusive targets and the many celebrity collaborations, because with rare exception, there's no way to reliably play those anymore. As for the exceptions, we'll get to those later. Just know that since launch, Hitman has had a bunch of these, covering everyone from Eminem to Sean Bean, and even Gary Busey. Cool, I guess. What eventually became the World of Assassination, a collection of all three modern Hitman games, began with the release of Hitman in 2016. But this wasn't the full game. Modern Hitman started as an episodic series, and only the Paris stage arrived in March of that year, with the rest of what was then called Season 1, which then just became Hitman 1, doled out over the rest of the year alongside bonus missions and the beginning of the trilogy's Elusive Target Mode. Real-time limited assassinations that ramp up the difficulty and only allow you one shot to take out your target. If you mess it up, no more second chances. There was also the Sarajevo 6 collection of contracts that were exclusive to the PlayStation version, which was later released for everyone as paid DLC. While the openness and replayability of Hitman was lauded, the drip feed of levels was not universally loved and would only last through the first game. Turmoil hit soon after in May of 2017, as IO Interactive split from Square Enix, layoffs culled some of Hitman's staff, and questions about the studio's future were in the air. Miraculously, just a month later, IO announced they were taking the Hitman IP with them. Later in the year, they released the Game of the Year edition that included all the levels from Hitman 1, plus the bonus missions and challenge packs, as well as a suite of lighting and UI improvements and a new mission type called Escalations, in which you take on increasingly difficult special objectives. It was a reframing of what came before, and preparation for what was to come. What looked like the long, drawn-out end of a legacy franchise was given a second chance on its own terms. It was announced in June of 2018 that all of Hitman's current levels, then known as Season 1, would be playable in Hitman 2, and they would be updated to incorporate all of Hitman 2's improvements, such as new weapons, sneaking in tall grass, and the suitcase that can hide items that would blow your cover originally. This feature of including the old levels in the new game, including all the tools and mechanics you unlock in these new games, set the precedent they would later follow with the World of Assassination package years later, with the pricing model changed. Other than the improvements already mentioned, Hitman 2 released in late 2018, adding 6 new levels, the Sniper Assassin mode, and an asynchronous Ghost mode which is no longer available. Although Hitman 2 did include all levels at once in the base game, DLC maps continued to drop after release, including the Bank and Haven Island, sniper maps like Hantu Port, and it began weekly content drops of challenge packs, community escalations, featured contracts, and more. Hitman 3 offered 6 new locations to explore on top of rolling in all of the Hitman 1 and 2 levels. Released in January of 2021, it was also completely playable in PSVR and came to VR platforms on PC at a later date. It continued the seasonal updates established in earlier games, as well as a 7 Deadly Sins expansion that added 7 new content packs around each of the aforementioned sins, each including new contracts, suits, and tools. IO also added a new mode called Elusive Target Arcade that lets you attempt previous elusive targets with special objectives. These don't carry the same reward as the time-gated live events, and are given a real-time cooldown after you attempt them. It's important to mention some big updates to how Hitman now plays. First, there's the Freelancer Mode. This is a brand new game type added in 2023, involving a new home base and roguelite elements. You begin from your safe house, where you choose a group of minor targets to go after that eventually culminate in a boss assassination. These campaigns take you to all the different locations across the 3 games, and each campaign must be completed without ever failing, or you lose all campaign progress, and the resources you bring into the field can be lost as well, not unlike an extraction shooter. As of January of 2026, cross-progression was finally added, letting you bring your save to other platforms using an IO Interactive account. Now we get to where we are today. You can no longer buy any of the modern Hitman games since 2016 on their own. Instead, they're all part of a platform known as the World of Assassination, which comes in 4 different packages and is available across all modern platforms. First, there's the free demo, which lets you play the ICA training missions, a kind of mini-map of its own, as well as free seasonal content. Part 1 is a package that includes all the demo content, as well as the first 6 levels, basically the Hitman 1 content, minus VR levels and the Freelancer Mode. The Standard Edition adds the 19 story missions that rounded out Hitman 2 and 3 for the full Hitman Trilogy experience, save for the premium content, and the Deluxe Edition includes the Hitman 2 Expansion Access Pass, the Hitman 3 Deluxe Pack, and the Hitman 3 7 Deadly Sins Collection. That's basically everything, save for a few cosmetics, the Sarajevo 6 missions, PSVR 2 access, and the Celebrity Packs you can all buy separately. The Celebrity Packs are the Elusive Target exceptions I mentioned at the beginning of the video. For certain celebrity targets, such as Casino Royale's Le Chiffre and Jean-Claude Van Damme's The Splitter, you can buy packs which include special cosmetics and permanent access to these otherwise time-gated targets, and a special multi-level Elusive Target Arcade contract. And IO does bring certain targets back around for a limited time if you missed them last go-around. Seasonal content, new elusive targets, a long-awaited co-op mode, and more are still being added to Hitman as we speak. And even with 007 First Light on the horizon, IO Interactive has stated they're not done with Agent 47, definitively telling Variety in late 2025 that of course there's going to be a new Hitman. What that will look like, we don't know. Will it be a new standalone Hitman 4? A new series of giant levels added to World of Assassination? Maybe even something different? All we know is that with everything IO and their lead character have been through, they're good at adapting. We hope you enjoyed this video, and for more on Hitman and everything else gaming, keep it right here on IGN.